my friends, I'm Mary of Mary Stories. I hope you are all okay out there and finding all sorts of different ways to connect with your loved ones, and that you are doing things that you love doing. Today's project is a half double crochet cluster, and I'm going to show you now how to do this. Take your hook. I'm using a 6mm crochet hook, and chain any number of chains. There is no certain multiple that is needed for this stitch, and I'm going to chain now around 20 chains. So once you've chained your number of chains you want for your project, you yarn over and count 1, 2, 3, and into that third chain from your hook insert your hook and pull up a loop, so you have 3 loops on your hook. Then again yarn over, insert your hook in next loop and pull up a loop. Now you have 5 loops, yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. This is a half double crochet cluster. Once again, now we are going to yarn over and insert our hook in the same previous already worked stitch once. So we have 3 chains on our hook, 3 loops, sorry, and again yarn over, insert your hook in next chain. Now we have 5 loops and yarn over and pull through all 5 loops. This is a half double crochet cluster, and this is what we are going to do till the end of our row. Let's do it slowly. Again yarn over, insert your hook in this chain you already have worked your previous half double crochet, pull up a loop, then again yarn over, find your next chain and work there the same thing, and then yarn over and pull through all loops. Okay, you can work this pattern, this stitch pattern, to make a blanket or whatever else you like. It's a reversible pattern. This is a good thing about this pattern, and it doesn't require a certain number of chains, and plus this pattern, this stitch pattern, gives a fluffy texture, as you can see here. So we're still working on row 1, inserting our hook first in the stitch already worked, and work a half double crochet but not finish it. The same thing in the next stitch. So basically we are doing one stitch working in 2 loops, in 2 chains, and this is not an increase. This just creates a cluster of half double crochets, and it's an easy pattern and 1 row stitch pattern. This is important for new crocheters, so it's a very easy pattern to work, and it's not exactly a puff stitch pattern. It's very similar, but it's not a puff stitch. It's a half double crochet cluster, and you can work it with a smaller hook or with a bigger hook if you want a different texture. So once again in the same stitch and in the next stitch, and we're close to the end of the row. Oh, another cluster worked, in the same stitch, yarn over in next stitch, which is the last stitch, and oh no, I have some more, and the important thing to do is to know how many clusters did you make. So do count when you're at the end: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so I'm starting to count from the first stitch, which stands to the right of the first half double crochet cluster. Since I have worked 20 chains, I have 18 half double crochets. Row number 2 and every other row, chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. And the important thing to know is that you are going to insert your hook not in the very first loop we see right below, but in the very small loop right below our chain 2. And we insert the hook then in the first loop. So we are always working a twin loop set, let's say, and we are creating the same thing as on row 1. Row 2 is the row that you are going to repeat from now on. So at the beginning of your row, remember to chain 2, insert your hook in the very first stitch right below the chain 2 you've just made, and then in the first loop you see clearly, and it's a bigger loop. And we're going to work till the end of our row. Yarn over, insert your hook in the stitch you have just worked, yarn over, insert in the next one, and pull, yarn over and pull through all loops. You can pull a little bit your yarn so the cluster is more fluffy. Since I'm working with a big hook, I leave big holes, but you can work with a smaller one if you don't like this texture, and you can create a more dense, let's say, texture. Since I want to work something for summer, I like this this texture with a big hook, and you can see clearly the clusters made. Let's go patiently till the end of the row so you can understand clearly how it is worked at the beginning and at the end of the row. This is the important thing, to work the same number of clusters on this row and on every other row, so our edges are straight and nice. And this is our cluster made, and I have one more. You see, my last stitch is going to be worked at the big loop I can see clearly below, and not at the rest of the chain 2 that I have made. If I count my stitches, I will find out that I have 18 clusters again. And this is half double crochet cluster. I'm going to show you once more how to start. So chain 2, you can see right below my chain 2, which is the point you are going to insert your hook for the first cluster you are going to make. This small to the right, this small loop, is the loop that you are going to work into your first stitch and create this beautiful texture. Thank you very much for being a company for me and sending me all your love. Thank you very much. Bye.